Given a brief to create a home that subtly makes a statement, the KIMH NIEU team decided to juxtapose the classical elements brought in by the architecture of this house with modern features, interestingly merging the styles to bring about personality, warmth, and breathe new life to the space.
Well, the client's vision and brief to us was to create something that's a bit more modern, contemporary, fresh, and a comfortable space to live in. So we had to bring a bit of life into it, something that made a bit of a statement, but was also a comfortable space to live in. The client also wanted to feel like he's living in a hotel every day of his life.
The design of the house incorporated many different styles within one space. So the architecture of the house is quite classic, and we wanted to bounce off of that but bring more of the modern contemporary style within. So what we did is we wanted to merge the styles of the house in a very interesting way where they don't contrast each other negatively, where they play off the positives of each styles. So we lightened it up, we brought in modern elements, we brought in natural materials just to try and juxtapose the style of the house with the modern interiors that we had.
It's something to make it a bit more striking and stand out, a little bit different to the normal contemporary style, was accentuating each of the classic features in the space. So we went for pitch black cornices, architraves, doors, against this white backdrop, just creating a very strong contrast, so at the same time focusing on the classic elements, but giving it a very modern and contemporary feel.
Now that we have spoken about the design elements, let us take you through to the lounge and show you.
What characterizes this style, it's numerous things actually. We've opted for elements that's modern, but also elements that's more classic and timeless. So from leather chairs that has a bit more of a 1950s feel through to some modernist type of tables, to textures, to leathers, and the colors, and just how it all comes together is actually what characterizes this style.
We completely revamped the vibe of the house by lightening it up and painting it white. And then what we did is we added in the black elements just to obviously pay homage to the classical elements that were obviously in the house. We didn't want to hide it, we wanted to pay tribute to it, but in a modern and contemporary way.
So as you walk through it, you can literally get that common theme throughout every space.
So the color palette of this house is more or less quite neutral and quite monochromatic. The biggest elements and the biggest color palette that we stuck to throughout this house was the blacks, whites, and pops of gray. This isn't a colorful house, but where we have brought in color, we've brought it in more of the autumn tones, or brought in more of the organic tones and stuff like that, just so it stays within the natural color palette of it. So the main part of the house is black and white, and then we've added in leathers that bring in the orange tones, and we've brought in like the mustards and stuff that just bring in and lift up the space and brighten it.
Yeah, I think just to add to that, because the space has got enormous volumes, the ceiling heights are over 4 meters in every space. Painting it white made it quite a cavernous space. So the autumn colors was the perfect thing to warm it up at the same time, so you don't feel like it's lost in the middle of a massive space. It kind of ties it all together, it's warmer, it's a bit more inviting at the same time. And then the colors that we did bring in was through the art as well. I mean, the beautiful pieces just scream out at you as you walk in, but without being in your face. It just kind of blends together.
Complementing the overall theme of the house and the use of autumn tones, they decided to add custom-made statement lighting fixtures to bring about warmth to the space.
The lighting we chose for the space had to also add into that theme. Now, white's a color that can be cold really easily, so we had to go for warmer tones. And we wanted some really standout feature pieces. So we had some custom pieces designed. Over the dining room, that's something you'll never see anywhere else. It's a massive 4 meter with 60 bulb light fitting that we've got over the table that can dim as well, so you don't feel like you're sun tanning while you sit at the table. To the 114 bulb entrance chandelier, I mean, that is a 9 meter space. So we needed something to just kind of bring it down as well, so you don't feel like you're walking into a cave. But also be a statement as you walk in, something you can see from the outside but experience as you come inside. Through to the normal down lighting and all the other lighting, there's little feature lights in every space. There's little things that just bring in interest. Got a fantastic chandelier in the spiral staircase made by Stephen Picker's design, which is a 5 meter recycled glass chandelier. And every piece as you walk in, you almost want to ask a question like, oh wow, I haven't seen something like that before, where did you get that? And that's something we wanted to have in this space.
To tie their interior together, they added African-inspired finishing touches to the home.
We wanted to pay homage to the fact that we are in Africa, and the client wanted to have a subtle African feel to every space. So the handcraft timbers and the textures and things we chose speaks to the continent we're in, even though the architecture speaks to a more European influenced space.
All of the rooms link together. There's not any room that stands out that has a specifically different style. We were able to create something so warm and homey with the architecture that we were given. You cannot walk into this house and not be blown away.
This classical architectural house was transformed using modern finishes and furnishings to make the client feel like he's living in a hotel every day of his life.